going to do with this line, we're using this as a center line for the model. All the formers that you get are going to have a small mark on them at the bottom, that while they're in our jig still, after we cut the sides and everything, there's a small slot in the bottom of that jig, and we put a pencil mark for you. What that's for, so you can find the center lines quick. It takes a lot of the headache out for you. I found many center line on a former, but you just take a right angle and mark this center line on it where you can see it a little bit. It doesn't have to be very far, about a half an inch is fine. Take it up to the first lightning hole will be just fine. And when we assemble this model now, we'll have a nice center line to go by for setting up the fuselage. Now, I'll go ahead and formers. We got them extended. I want to do something to these sides. We're going to put some marks on here. Again, the side, the longerons opposite of the hole is the top of the aircraft. That's the straight part. That's the part we're going to have against the bench. So I'm going to give you some measurements here. If you're building, we're building a 300S model. There's several different versions of this. Six airplanes you can build out of this kit. The S, the L, the 300-200, and then a two-piece version of each. The two-piece being the fuselage breaks in half. Now, tape measure works best on this because you can hook over into longerons. But what we want to do is put some marks on here. Just put it on one longeron, and I'll show you how to transfer them over to get the former straight. Now the first one is going to be at 15 3/4. So you want it there. 28 inches. Again, this is the starting point is hanging over the end of the plywood and the longeron. That's why you had to put those on even at the front. You might have to cut a little off the back, which is fine. Okay, 39 inches. This is our S model. That's the specification I'm giving you now. 50 1/4. When you order this, you'll specify which model you're going to build. We can send you the right components to go with it. 61 1/4. Now, this last former ends up even at the back. The front former, which is this F1C1 assembly that we made, the longerons and the sides butt up against the C1. Glue the F1 to the sides. Okay, now if you're building an L model, your first one's going to be at 15 1/4. Your second one's at 26. Your third one is at 38 1/4. Your next one is at 50 1/2. And the last measurement is at 64 3/8. Now that sets the spacing up for the longer L fuselage. If you're building a two-piece, when you set in F4, you count back 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll use this center line to break. Instead of an 1/8 inch former, we're going to have 2 1/4 inch formers that are doweled and have blind nuts in them. I'm going to put that information, the rest of these measurements, and this information at the back of the tape if you're going to do a two-piece. Tape out of the way. And we'll take the sliding type straight edge, right angle. And we'll make sure that you can get a clamp if you wish. Make sure that these stay even in the front. You don't want them moving on you on these measurements because this is really kind of neat. It makes this model come out very straight. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to run the edge of this square along the longeron, and we're going to transfer our marks. And you only have to move to get this other measurement. Just slide it down. This is going to set everything up for you. Then when you put those center lines on center lines, you have a nice straight airplane. Little pencil mark we don't want. When we set these formers in here, these are going to be at the front of the formers. And we'll just see that line. Let's go ahead and stand this up and we'll put this model together. It's not a bad idea with some kits, really any kit, to make sure everything fits.